The United Kingdom faces multiple challenges in its current context. The first of these is the post-Brexit adaptation process. Following its exit from the European Union, the country has had to establish new trade and political relations with its international partners. This transition has generated economic uncertainty and required significant restructuring in several sectors. Second, the management of the pandemic has had a profound impact on the United Kingdom. Containment measures, trade restrictions, and business closures have affected economic activity, resulting in job losses and slower economic growth. Third, we have the tax reform implemented by the government. Changes in fiscal policies, including adjustments in tax rates and public spending programs, have impacted the distribution of wealth and the purchasing power of citizens. In addition, the pound sterling has experienced periods of volatility and weakness, at times reaching the brink of collapse. This situation has generated concern in the financial markets and has affected the international perception of the country's economic stability. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure to stay until the end of the video, where we will talk about the main reason why the UK economy is in danger. Let's begin. In recent decades, the United Kingdom has seen a deterioration in its productivity compared to countries such as France, Germany, and the United States. This phenomenon is a cause for concern due to its impact on the country's economic growth and international competitiveness. Productivity refers to the efficiency with which resources are used to produce goods and services. In the case of the United Kingdom, stagnation in productivity growth has been observed, meaning that the economy is not producing more with the same resources or is producing the same with more resources compared to other countries. This stagnation in productivity can be attributed to several factors. One of the main ones is the lack of investment in physical and human capital. Investment in machinery, technology, and worker training is crucial to improving the efficiency and quality of production. In addition, the business and regulatory environment can influence productivity. Restrictive labor regulations, high compliance costs, and excessive bureaucracy can hinder business efficiency and discourage investment. Another important factor to consider is innovation and the adoption of new technologies. Countries that lead in productivity tend to be those that are at the forefront of innovation and the adoption of disruptive technologies. On the other hand, the stagnation of wages since 2005 is another worrying aspect of the UK's economic and social landscape. Despite the economic growth experienced in some periods, workers' wages have not experienced a significant increase in almost 2 decades. This wage stagnation has led to a decline in workers' purchasing power and an increase in income inequality, which negatively affects the economic well-being of the population and can lead to social tensions. In addition, the negative perception of the country's leadership by the population is a relevant issue in the political and social context of the United Kingdom. Dissatisfaction and distrust of political leaders and government institutions can arise due to a variety of reasons, ranging from crisis management, such as the pandemic, to controversial policy decisions, such as Brexit. This negative perception can have important implications for the country's political stability and social cohesion, as well as trust in government policies and actions. The services sector is a fundamental pillar of the UK economy and plays a crucial role in its economic activity. It accounts for approximately 45% of the country's total economic activity, making it a vital component of its economic engine. This sector covers a wide range of activities from education and finance to telecommunications and leisure. In particular, the UK excels in key areas within the services sector. On the one hand, the country has a world-renowned education sector, with institutions such as Oxford and Cambridge universities attracting international students from all over the world. This education industry contributes significantly to the British economy by bringing in foreign students and generating employment in the sector. On the other hand, the financial sector, especially represented by the City of London, is another highlight of the UK service sector. The city is one of the major global financial centers and is home to a wide range of financial institutions, investment firms, and international banks. The importance of the City of London in global financial markets and the UK economy in general is undeniable. and its strength contributes significantly to the country's economic growth. Despite successes in the services sector, some proposals to boost UK manufacturing face significant challenges. Over the years, there have been debates about the need to revitalize UK manufacturing and reduce the country's reliance on the service sector. Various initiatives and policies have been proposed to encourage production and manufacturing in the country, such as tax incentives and government support programs. These proposals face challenges such as global competition, high labor and production costs, as well as a lack of infrastructure and capacity in some manufacturing sectors. In addition, the transition to a more manufacturing-oriented economy would require careful planning and significant investment in technology, training, and skills development to ensure long-term success. On the other hand, we have free trade agreements. These are crucial for the UK, especially after Brexit, as they remove or reduce trade barriers between countries, facilitating the exchange of goods and services. For the UK, this need is even more pressing due to its heavy reliance on the services sector in international trade. The services sector is a crucial part of the UK economy, contributing significantly to its economic activity. Sectors such as education and finance are particularly prominent, with the City of London being one of the world's leading financial centers. Therefore, any post-Brexit trade deal must address the importance of services and ensure adequate market access for this sector. However, the United Kingdom faces significant challenges in signing trade agreements after Brexit. Exiting the European Union means that the country must negotiate new trade agreements with international partners, which can take time and face hurdles. In addition, the complexity of negotiations and differences in trade policies between countries may make it difficult to conclude favorable agreements for the United Kingdom. The main obstacle to the UK's economic growth is undoubtedly the lack of investment. This problem encompasses several aspects that have contributed to hindering the flow of investment and slowing down the country's economic development. First, there has been a decades-long decline in investment in the UK. Despite being a developed economy, investment in physical and human capital has declined, which has negatively impacted the country's ability to improve its productivity and maintain its international competitiveness. Legal and political uncertainty has been another factor affecting investment in the United Kingdom. Since the 2008 financial crisis and, more recently, with the Brexit process, significant levels of uncertainty have been generated among investors. Fluctuations in government policies and negotiations over the United Kingdom's exit from the European Union have created a volatile business environment, which has deterred many companies from investing in the country. In addition, changing and complicated regulations have also contributed to a lack of business confidence. Businesses need stability and clarity in the regulatory environment to plan long-term investments. However, the introduction of complex regulations and their constant change has created confusion and increased risk for businesses, leading to a decrease in investment. Challenges in corporate governance and business ownership have also played a role in the lack of investment in the UK. The lack of a strong business culture and the dispersed ownership structure of many companies have made it difficult to make strategic decisions and implement large-scale investments. Faced with this set of challenges, the UK government has proposed a number of solutions and measures to stimulate investment and promote stronger and more sustainable economic growth. One of the key proposals is the reorientation of the tax system so as not to penalize investment. This involves reviewing tax policies to create a more favorable environment for investment by reducing taxes that discourage investment and promoting tax incentives that stimulate business growth and innovation. In addition, the need for training and financing programs to modernize business management is recognized. These programs can provide companies with the resources and skills needed to adapt to technological changes, improve operational efficiency, and promote greater productivity. Training in areas such as financial management, digitization, and business innovation can help companies maximize their potential and boost their long-term growth. Another important proposal is the introduction of employee representation on company boards. This measure seeks to give employees a voice in corporate decision-making and promote greater corporate responsibility. By allowing workers to participate in corporate governance, It seeks to balance the interests of shareholders with those of employees, which can lead to more transparent and long-term oriented management. In addition, the possibility of a transition to a tax system that incentivizes savings has been raised. This could involve the introduction of tax policies that encourage long-term savings and investment, such as tax incentives for investment in productive assets and long-term savings plans. By encouraging savings and investment, the aim is to strengthen the country's economic fabric and foster more balanced and sustainable growth. Thank you very much for staying until the end of the video, my friend, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any of my videos.